I think teachers bring out the brilliance in their students by creating an environment where students feel loved and special and unique in their own way.
All right, so bringing out the brilliance in students for my class is in a student-managed classroom where they run the classroom. They build trust and they help each other to learn to stay engaged and learn.
All right, how do I bring out the brilliance in students? I think of students of an experience that I had where it's in Atlanta, Georgia, where we're digging for, it's a mine that's up there, and you're digging for like gemstones and stuff. There are so many different gemstones, and there's so many different stones that you find, and each one is unique. And at first it looks rough, and you're just kind of okay. Let's see what happens from this. And then once you shape it, you polish it, and it doesn't matter what type of stone it is. They're all beautiful, and that's what I think about my students is, it's particularly in high school, and I love high school students where they had all these years prior, elementary and middle school, where they're shaping, they're becoming this gemstone that's kind of hidden. And then high school is kind of where you refine it, you buff it, you refine the shapes, and you give it just a shine. And that's how I think about students. And in art, I love my AP students where all those years of training them, and I've taught K to 12. So I've seen the kindergarten students, and then when I finally get them as AP students, where it's kind of the top of the art programs, where all that training, and now they're just making a voice for themselves. And that's why I think they're this gemstone that's just looking unique, and you shine them up, and they're just shining bright.
As a teacher, to bring out the brilliancy of the students, I build a relationship. I get to know them, and then I take part in their lives, not just the academic, but just getting to know them and love them. And then once they know you're on their side, they perform better for you.
I bring out the brilliance of my children by being real with them. I try to be engaging with them, and also fun. So they're learning all the time. We do different types of activities. We may dance in middle school, which is tough for some of them, but I treat them like they are real students. I treat them like they are adults sometimes, because this is the real world, and I talk about government, so they need to be able to hold a conversation. So hopefully by doing that and treating them like an adult, I'm getting their opinions, their deep opinions about things, and just really making their brilliance shine.
One of the ways that I bring out the brilliance in my students is through reading and writing. I'm an ELA teacher, and so I have the pleasure of presenting a lot of different types of literature to my students, and literature is where we examine really grandiose ideas. We look at human nature. We try to walk in the shoes of others, and we study essential questions through that literature, and then we also do that through writing. And I think when my kids really start to connect the dots of all the things that we read and that we talk about and that we end up writing about, and they just have that light bulb moment of, oh, now I get it, now I understand why this is important, and they can see that application either in high school or beyond in real life, where they can apply it. That's where it comes out for me. That's where I see that they're really shining at that point.
I bring out the brilliance in my students by playing the ukulele and teaching them a lot of our skills and strategies through song and chant. And after a while, they take ownership of it themselves, and they start making up their own songs and their own chants. And then they turn around and they teach each other, and they shine, shine, shine.
How do you bring out the brilliance in your students? So how I feel like I bring out the brilliance in my students is I teach physical education. I try to make my lessons engaging and fun and have them like be comfortable trying new things. And I feel from there my students are happy, engaged, and they just they shine when they feel comfortable in my class. And I feel like that's kind of how I make it a safe, friendly environment, so they feel free to try new things and they can really shine and show me what they got.
I think we as teachers can bring out the brilliance in our students when we find what speaks to them, what they connect with, or something that they're really passionate about, and we just help that to shine.
I bring out the brilliance in my students by offering big challenges. I find their genius and learn how to break their barriers.
Teaching gives us the opportunity to focus on our students and really hone in on what makes them special and what makes them unique. And it's a great opportunity to continue to build on that.
I feel that teachers are really the guides for students, that we help students to find themselves and to learn who they really are in the world. And that starts all the way from the very beginning when they first come to us as kindergartners and all the way up to seniors in high school, where we're not telling them how it is or how they should really be anymore. It's more of the idea that we're guiding them to find their true selves, and that through education and through what we can teach them, we're helping to shape their knowledge of the world and their place in the world. So I think that that's really how teachers bring out the best in their students. Good teachers are the teachers who know their kids, they listen to their kids, they love what they do, and they find the way to help their students really shine.
So I think part of my job as a teacher is to help kids see the best in themselves and to inspire them to be better than what they could even imagine for themselves. And so I bring up the brilliance by letting them see that they each have a little bit of light in themselves that is unique to them. And when they are doing their best versions of themselves, then they get to shine their light really brightly. And so for me, I think as an educator, I think it's just to help see kids see themselves more truly and help them kind of just inspire them to be able to be the best versions of themselves.
The way I try to bring out the brilliance in my students is providing a safe, fun, and challenging environment where the students are free to take risks, and whatever challenge they have, they can run with it.
I bring out the brilliance in my students by a couple different ways. I think by acting as silly as possible and letting them know that there's no way to be wrong. I often say the phrase, "Don't be afraid to be wrong," in my classroom. I want it to feel safe to try, safe to make mistakes, because a lot of times when you're brave enough to make a mistake, that's when the real brilliance comes out. So I think having that environment in my class helps the kids break through the fear and get to the brilliant part. I think being silly creates bravery and it creates some brilliance.
I have found that students are brilliantly creative, and I love to tap into that creativity through hands-on learning experiences in the garden, with music, with the arts, and I love to find their gifts and help them discover those gifts so they can shine.
I feel like teaching brings out the brilliance in students and gives them the opportunity to shine by having the opportunity to demonstrate what they know, and when they feel confident in that information, you can see them light up knowing that they feel good about what they're learning.
Well, I try to bring out the brilliance in my students by making sure my classroom is fun, engaging, exciting, a place where they want to come and learn all day.
Hi, I bring out the brilliance in my children by every day making it a little sparkle that their achievements make, and building up their self-esteem and loving them no matter what.
I teach high school students who are special needs. I teach mostly juniors and seniors. I think I bring out the brilliance in them by letting them talk about themselves. This is their future they're working towards. This is their decision. No longer talking about what your parents want for you, but what they want and the things that they want to succeed in. So we work a lot on figuring out what their future is going to look like and make plans towards being successful with their future.
So there's a pretty big difference between joy and brilliance, but brilliance is pretty deep. So when a kid understands what you're teaching them and they truly know that they get it, that's where teachers bring out the brilliance.
So in kindergarten, we shine every day, from the little things, the tiny little goals of using our scissors and putting on our jacket, to learning how to read. And we're working every day to just shine brighter in everything that we touch.
Hello. Well, this is a great question for me. How do I bring out the brilliance in my students? That's my number one goal every single day. My kids, if you ask them, we massage our brains every day and we say, I'm gonna have a good day, I'm gonna be the best me. I think more as a teacher, that is my job, to pump them up. They think they are the students of the year. So they took this, this beautiful accomplishment that we have right here, and I've turned it about them, and I've made it. They know it's because they're the best and they're the smartest, and I tell them every day to, something every day. I try to make it out like they are just brilliant. You read this, y'all are the smartest kids. Are y'all in 3rd grade? Are you in 5th grade? Just I think boosting their confidence and making them feel like they're the smartest, craziest, cutest little kids they've ever did. It makes them love school, and it makes me love my job, and I just love it. Bring out the brilliance in students is what I try and do every day.
Okay, I think my students shine the brightest when they're working their hardest and they're being kind to each other, and when they share their passions and their talents with myself and their classmates, and they're just enjoying learning.
So how I bring out the brilliance in my students is my teaching philosophy is first and foremost is to develop relationships with the students from the beginning of the school year. I look at every kid as somebody's son, daughter, brother, sister, niece, nephew, that these are family members. And so I develop relationships with them at the beginning, let them know how much I care about them. I am their, outside of their family, their biggest advocate. When it comes to my class and even outside of my classroom, I want them to feel confident and safe when they walk into my room, so that they feel safe to try to make mistakes. And when it comes to the academics part of it, if they feel safe socially and emotionally in my classroom, then they feel safe academically as well. And I develop those relationships ongoing throughout the year. So when it gets to the part of the year when I have to put my foot down, get a little stern, they know it's with care and respect, and I love them as people. And even if I get frustrated with their work ethic or certain choices they make, they know I still care about them. So first and foremost, the relationship building and to instill that confidence and that safe and that social emotional wellness in the classroom is first and foremost, and then the academics kind of follows.
How do I bring out the brilliance in my students? I try to get to know them, the whole connection piece, and finding out what makes them excited, and building on that and allowing them to take that passion and explore their likes, their dislikes, and what gets them excited about learning. So by taking their cues, that's how I make my students shine.
So how do I bring out the brilliance in my students? I like to celebrate their successes, whether it be small or large. In physical education classes, find out what they're good at and really celebrate that.
How do I bring out the brilliance in my students? By celebrating every success they have, even if it's showing growth just a little bit.
How do you bring out brilliance in your students? How do you make them shine? Well, first thing I do is I find out what they're good at and take that, and then I piggyback those skills and parlay them into what we're teaching, so that this way they have a frame of reference. And then once they have a frame of reference, that'll give them the confidence to learn new things, and then we'll build on top of those new things, and then we get the job done.
I bring out the brilliance
of my students by identifying that there is a gift, a talent, or a special skill hidden within. And what I do is I then give those students space so that they could take their gift, their talent, and those skills, and that they can enhance them, that they can learn a little bit more about them, giving them space to make decisions, to take risks, and in some cases to fail. But then acknowledging their failure, getting back up and moving forward, encouraging them, cheering them on, and making sure that they realize that I believe in them and that they can accomplish anything that they want to accomplish. Making sure that they realize that they're just not a grade, but there's something special, something unique, and if they take that gift that they have and offer it to their community, that they too can create a platform for themselves, shine, and then their gifts will make room for them. That's how I make my children shine.
And I bring out the brilliance in my students by letting them pursue their passions, and I help them to achieve their dreams and goals.
I think bringing out brilliance in children every day is every teacher's goal. We want them to shine bright by loving who they are and knowing that the best they can do is all we're ever going to want, and that growth mindset is going to make them shine even brighter every day, working hard and loving themselves. And I think they'll shine their brightest.
How I bring out the brilliance in my students, I just want to say they bring out the brilliance in me. And I truly try to help them shine in their learning because I want them to own their learning and make them feel confident in their learning and to, most importantly, believe in themselves.
I bring out the brilliance in my students by forming relationships with them and finding what makes them special and letting them really truly shine through that.
I'm asked, how do you bring out the brilliance in your students and how do you make them shine? I have to say that it's a reciprocal process for me. My students make me shine, and I make every effort to attend to my students one-on-one immediately when I first meet them and find out what it is about them that cues their interest, what their giftedness is, what even their names mean if they know, and if they don't, we talk about that. And then I connect it to what's going on in their life. What their problems are and how math and science and social studies, because I teach the GED, can solve that. I also teach ESOL, and so we look at what they're dealing with as new citizens and what they can bring to our country and what our country brings to them. And this just makes such a difference in their lives as they move forward in their educational goals. And I'm just really humbled and pleased to be a part of that.
I bring out the brilliance in my students by forming strong relationships with them and letting them know that they are safe, secure, and loved in my classroom. And that allows them the freedom and safety to feel as if they can perform their best and do what they need to do in the classroom.
I would say that I help make my students shine by making sure they each know that I love them. Most importantly, when they know that they're loved and supported and also that I respect them, they're much more willing to try to do their best to make me happy, which in turn makes them want to do their best and to shine as students. I think that showing mutual respect for one another helps them want to be at school and, as I said, know that they're loved, and for that reason they want to shine for me and they want to become brilliant for themselves. So that's how I do it.
The way that I bring out the brilliance in my students and help them to shine is to help them to have the confidence that they can succeed in whatever they put their mind to help them feel comfortable. We have fun, we have challenging activities, and when they succeed, we celebrate. And we enjoy ourselves, and it's just a fun environment.
How do I bring out the brilliance in my students? Well, at RB Hunt, we have this new kind of motto this year about shine brightly, and we instill that every day. So shine, it's an acronym that stands for safe choices, having respect, including others, noticing feelings, and being encouraging in empowering the students is what I like to do, just empower them to be the best they can be. So every morning when they come in, the first thing is the big greeting, and they have a choice. You can have a high five, you can have a silly dance, you can have a fist bump. So that kind of gets their day going. And I also try my best to encourage them to be the best that they can be. And one of the things that we have is a class motto, and our motto is, I can do anything if I believe. I will do everything so I can achieve. I am somebody. You just watch me succeed. And they love saying that, and they get real like empowering with that, you know. Noticing their feelings that they're all individuals. I see them, you know, I want to validate them. So whenever they come to me with situations, you know, I don't like to bring them down. So I'm encouraging them by lifting them up. So I validate their feelings, and I see them, you know, and I think they respect that in me. You know, I look at them all as individuals. I treat them with respect, and I expect to be treated with respect in return. And I think they know that, and we have a really good bond, you know, and I think that brings out the brilliance in them, because I never let them give up. I always say, you can do it. I know you can. And they do. They surprise me every day.
I like to help my students shine by developing relationships with them, figuring out what they want, what motivates them, help them achieve the goals that they want to achieve.
I work each day to help my kids shine by creating a safe environment where they feel ready to be creative and work in ways that work for them. I try to encourage them to work towards things that are their strengths and let them know that I believe in them, but most of all, they should believe in themselves each and every day.
I like to bring out the brilliance in my students by getting to know who they are, getting to know what's important to them, what makes them laugh, what makes them smile. I feel like if you can really get to know the kid, you can really make a difference in their life and turn their bad day around, or take a weakness and make it a strength. And you can, as long as you can make them smile and get them excited about being at school, that's the most important thing.
I bring out the brilliance in children by taking them from where they are to where they need to be, whether it is socially, emotionally, or academically. I let them know that they are loved, they are safe, and they can handle this.
I bring out the brilliance in my students by identifying their strengths. I try to create opportunities for my students to allow their light to shine by highlighting some of the things that they are able to do. I'm also big on teaching the growth mindset. That basically entails getting students to understand just because they don't know something doesn't mean that they won't be successful. It just means that they don't know it yet.